Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of our look at this old flat manifold engine. We might as well just get stuck into it. There's no point having a long intro into something like this. So the head is pretty much the same as the later engine on this, certainly this one. There's our 3 nuts. The pillar studs have got the late type head I should say. The only difference really is the rockers themselves have a proper spring at the bottom. But otherwise things are pretty similar. Now the oil feed is also pretty similar at the head anyway. But then, and I will swap you to the other camera for this, the oil feed pipe is held on by this clip which goes between the pipe, which has a rubber sleeve over it, and one of the head studs. And I don't think the barrel's going to come off with that in place, so we're going to have to undo that as well. But otherwise, things are pretty similar. So I think we'll take off our oil feed first, which is a 12. So we can get the head off. If the barrel doesn't want to come as well, if the barrel wants to come as well, I should say, I'll have to undo that clip, but for the minute we'll try and get the head off on its own. There we go. Copper washer on either side. Right. Now then. Right. That's them loose. It's like copper again. Right. So in theory, and in practice, our head should come off. And it does. So, initial thoughts. Right, where the barrel sits appears to be okay. It's nice and clean. The valves themselves are whole, and although it's black, it's even. Bottom of the push rods look good. Push rod tubes on this side are undamaged. Right, so we may have a workable head. We shall strip that shortly and have a look. So, back up top to our little mounting bolt. Let me just move you again so you're missing nothing, and I'll change the battery at the same time because it's about to run out. Right, so we need to undo our little clamp now. I'm not entirely sure what size that is. Fairly small is the answer, and it's an 8. Here we go, double clip. W clip, I suppose you would call it. Holding the oil line on. So our barrel should come off. The piston's not in an ideal position at the minute. Oh well, too late to worry about that. And there we have them. And we shall look at that more closely soon. But that also doesn't look bad. Right. Piston. Come on. I'm getting terribly weak in my old age. Right, we'll worry about that when we do the other side. So I won't show you the other side unless there's a problem, because it is exactly the same. So I'll turn you off for a minute and then bring you back in a second. Right, this head's the same. The mating surface is good. No signs of any erosion. Even the seals feel quite soft. Both valves are complete. No chunks missing out of them. And then the piston, I'll just share this side rather than both, but not huge amounts of blow-by. In fact, virtually no blow-by really. There's a bit round there, but nothing excessive. And the crank, can't feel any movement in the crank either. So I think once it's all cleaned up, we might get away. There's a mark in that piston there, which is strange. We might get away with a hone and a new set of rings. Clean the valves up, that sort of stuff. So that's good. So now then, we shall turn our attention to the dynamo, which is slightly less good. As you can see, that's a bit bashed there. That's where the fan sits, the taper there where the fan sits. So somebody's had a good go at that. I'll have to check the fan still fits in that properly. Anyway, this part should come off undoing those two bolts. Before we do that, we really need to sort out the brushes. It may come off cleanly, it may not. So if we just move them out of the way, well, easier said than done. Let's move it out of the way more. We can then hopefully lift our brushes out. Oh dear, that's a bit tight. Can we get in there? No. Okay, that's a problem. Let's try the other one. Take the pressure off. I'll take them out completely. Do the same on this side. Just get them out of the way. Now then. Yeah, see, that's what's meant to happen. They're meant to just slide up like that. But this one seems a bit stuck. And I don't want to go too mad. Right, let's try cleaning that. Just in case it's dust. Okay. I'm going to try taking it off with that one as it is. It's not ideal. It's not something I do by choice, but I'm going to have to give it a go. I prefer it if that's out of the way, but it should be okay. So hopefully, let's bring you back out a bit now. Now then, I assumed that would all come off in one go. Looks like I was wrong, doesn't it? Okay. I'm going to have to get a puller and pull the whole lot. Right, let me turn you off again for a second while I think about this. Right, that appears to be stuck. I'm pretty certain that should come off, just leaving that part on the end of the crank. When the case is getting split, that should free that off, so I'll leave it till then. Right, so back to stripping bits off. Points box at the bottom, Looks very similar to the ordinary later type. In fact, I'm sure the late ones right to the very end are still stamped up AZ, if my memory serves me right. And there is no guarantee of that, of course. Is that undone? That's loose. Wonder why that was loose. Right, okay. There we go. Weights are still in there, covers there. Good. Take the oil cooler off next then. Now, as we mentioned in the last video, it has lock wire through the bolt and then wrapped round the pipe and then twisted. So we need to cut that and get rid of that. I don't have any lock wire pliers. I might have to invest in some, as the Harley needs some lock wiring doing. So maybe it's time to buy some. Right. Let's go and find a socket for that. It's a rather loose 27, but it just measured it, it's more than 26. So now then, I'm just going to support that pipe there because I'm slightly worried that if this is all stuck, you might want to turn. So I'm going to have to get in your way slightly here, sorry. No, it's moved. Good. Right, I'll just do the same on the other side. Rusty old metal. Must remember to see if my tetanus is up to date. I'll have to support this side by hand. Luckily, that didn't seem that bad, so hopefully this one won't be. No, we're okay. There we go. Right, so bring it back to the more visible side. Forgot it's still full of oil. Oh dear. Should have drained it by now, which I haven't done. Which is monumentally foolish of me. Right, too late to worry now. They're definitely loose. So, before we try and take them out properly, we will remove the top mount. 11mm again. Right, top mount, just like the more modern one, straight through the block. Oh, blimey. Very tight for a small fitting. Right. So, everything's loose, so it should come off. There are two spacers up top. And that's our oil filter, oil cooler. So copper washer, head feed, copper washer, oil cooler, another copper washer, big bolt, lock wired on. So that just needs cleaning out because there's no signs of leaks. All the finning is in lovely condition, really untouched. And also no muck in it. So that's good, that will clean. Right. So now we've got lots of weight off. If you will excuse me for 1 minute, I'll put this stuff away on a bench. I will elevate the block and drain the oil out, and then we'll come back and do a bit more. Right, I've got it up on blocks just to drain the oil out. It's pretty horrible, the oil, really black. So that's not been changed for a while, and whoever put the drain plug in must have done it with a very, very long wrench, because it's super tight, insanely tight. But anyway, I'll leave that now for half an hour to make sure it all drains, to minimise any mess, and then we'll come back.